So what we are doing today, we are doing a thing called Curacura, which is basically just looking at lots of darks and shadows and lights. In the 19th century, they did a lot of still lifes, which were just, they'd put an arrangement of things and then they draw them. For us, what I thought we should do is stick to shapes. So we're going to be doing a shadow and light drawing with a cylinder, a cube, and a sphere. So this should be really cool. See how I did my first one in brown, but I'm going to do my next one in green. So you can do whatever color you like. What we are going to do, we're going to start with the center of our page. I want you to think about a cylinder. So we're starting off with the top of the cylinder. We're drawing an oval shape. So we're nice and lightly starting off so we don't make it too big. We're starting with an oval shape for our cylinder. You might not be able to see mine. I might need to draw it in really dark. So you start off with a cylinder shape, that oval shape for the top of the cylinder, starting with an oval. Can we all draw the top of our oval shape? Don't make it too dark. I've just made it darker so that you can see it. Sorry, it is a bit light, maybe, or I'll make it a bit darker. Ready? So starting off with, oh, mine's very dark, a cylinder shape up the top. Sort of an oval, little skinny oval for the top of our cylinder, which is a can. It's going to be at the top of the can looking thing. Once we have done that, each side of the cylinder is a straight line. So we'll go straight down. This might take a couple of tries. So I made mine a bit fat. I might make it a bit skinnier. Go right from the edge of your oval, do a straight line down. I'll make my line a lot sharper and thicker so you can see it, but I want you to keep your lines nice and light at the moment. We're doing 2 lines down. Now I've done something wrong, haven't I? My lines are not even. So this line needs to come a little bit longer. So we should come up with something like this. Awesome, that's looking so good. Then what we need to do is join the bottom of our cylinder. So the bottom of the cylinder is not a straight line. It needs to curve and look almost exactly the same as this line. So we need to do curve curved because we are going to shave the bottom of that anyway. Make your line nice and curved. And I've blunted my pencil already, so I need to sharpen. I draw way too heavy. Awesome. Can we see that we've got that shape? So we've got the cylinder started off. The next shape we're going to do, so we've got a cylinder right in the center. We're going to do this sphere shape. And a sphere is just a big circle. Now, when you're drawing a circle, I'm just going to show you on this page, don't just draw a circle really hard and forget about it like this. What I want you to do is have your pencil a little bit further back, draw a really light circle around a bunch of times until you find the circle shape that you like. Then once you find that shape that you like, you can go back in on it and outline it. I'll show you on mine. We're going to put the circle just next to here. It's going to cover a little bit of your cylinder. So you're going to start off by drawing your big circle, draw it around a bunch of times until you get the shape that you like. That's okay that I have all these lines, that's fine. We'll just rub them out or we'll make them a bit thicker. So I'm happy with my circle shape now. I'm going to go around the edge and make it nice and dark. Nice and dark around the edges. Make sure that it overlaps your cylinder. So you want it to overlap that cylinder. Nice and circle. Coming together. Now the next thing we're going to do, these lines in here, we're going to rub them out. So you're going to get your eraser. We're going to rub out those lines. Make them just a little bit lighter. Because we are using colored pencil, they will not rub away completely, but they will fade a little bit. It's okay because we're going to go back over that with some more shading. So we just want them to fade just a little bit so that they're just a little bit less visible. So just this spot, just getting rid of those little, getting rid of it. So we've got the cylinder and the sphere. And once everyone's done that, we'll move on to the next one. If you think your cylinder needs to be reshaped, that's all good. Play around with it a little bit. Awesome. Oops, dropping things. So we've got our circle, which will become our sphere, and then we've got our cylinder. And we have one last shape to do, but I'm going to wait just one moment. If you have finished the circle and the cylinder, just hold up your work so I can tell how we're going. Otherwise, I can give you a little longer. Oh, look, we've got some circles and cylinders all done. I'm liking this. Oh, look at that one. That one's very good. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Okay, I think we can move on to the next step. Sorry about my hiccup, guys. Oh, they're looking very good. All right, so the next step is we are drawing a cube. Have a look at my cube. So you can see it kind of looks 3D, doesn't it? So we're not drawing a square that's straight on like this. That's not what we're doing. We're starting off with this square, which is kind of on an angle. So what you want to think about, have a look at the center of your cylinder. That will be one corner of your square. So put a little dot there just for reference. Then the other bit of your square, your cube, will end up coming, we'll follow it down a little bit, just outside. So put a little dot there. I'll make my dots nice and big so you can see them. But I just want your dots to be nice and little, light little dots so you can tell where they are. So go to the center of your cylinder, put a little dot, follow that in a diagonal line down, and you can put another little dot. This dot here is going to be where our cube starts. So from this dot, we're going to follow a line down. We're going to take it, our line is going to go further than our circle. So if our circle goes about here, our line needs to go a little bit lower. You're going to do a line that's lower than your circle, a nice long line, like so. The other circle sits here, but my line goes a little bit lower. Probably make my line even a little bit lower. And again, I need to sharpen my pencil because I draw very heavy. Next step. This one here is where we're going to do our cube. So we're going to go across in a diagonal up a little bit. Same from the bottom, across in a diagonal up a little bit. And then attach it together. So I'll show you what I'm doing. I'll make it a bit darker. So start off light and then make it darker. So I'll draw my line to show you. I'll make it nice and dark so you can see it. Make sure they're nice, straight diagonal lines. We don't want any wavy curvies. We want nice, straight lines. Some of you might be thinking, yes, this is very similar to math. We draw shapes in math. Yes, art and math cross over a lot. Lots of things cross over together. So you've got your cube started off here. Make sure our lines are nice and straight. Miss Lauren has done a bit of a curvy line, so she's going to fix that very quickly. Make sure you've got nice straight lines. Very good. Awesome. Oh, look at that. That's looking so good. Okay, next step. This dot and this dot, we're going to draw the line between those two dots. So we need to draw a line right down there to join up those dots. Like so. After that, we need to figure out how to attach this line, make another square here, and up here is our last square. So what we will do is you're going to go from this dot down. I would say go a little bit lower than your cylinder, like so, almost just at the bottom of your cylinder. Then with the cube, all these lines are even, so we need to make sure that we keep the same angle of this line for this. So if you have a look, you can put your pencil like this and go, right, so that's my angle. My line needs to go like that. So I need it to reach all the way up there. So I'll attach those lines together. I'm going to make mine nice and dark so you can see what I'm doing. Nice and dark line for me, but your lines need to be light. Ta-da, it's starting to come together.
Sorry, we got a question from Murad.
Oh, yes?
Can you unmute?
I just joined. I really don't know what we're actually doing.
So we're turning these shapes into a shaded version like this. And we're practicing our shading with our lights and our darks, which is called a technique called chiaroscuro. So it's where there's really heavy darks and really light lights.
Okay,
So we're going to be doing
next time. Can you make sure you join it on time, because the whole class cannot just wait for you. Next time, make sure you join on time. Thank you.
So this is what we're up to. And the last thing that's missing, the top of the square, the top of the cube. So again, we need to follow the same lines. So if we want to do that trick again, you can hold your pencil along here, and you need to think about your line needs to go in the same angle as that pencil. So my line needs to go about there, doesn't it? So I'll go across with a light pencil, back up this way with a light pencil. These lines need to be even. I use my pencil to rule it, to just double check that I'm getting the right angle. And we'll end up putting it together. So I've got my line. This is my other line. And you'll end up with a cube. I'm going to double check my lines again because I think I didn't do it very well. That's okay. I'll just make it a little bit thicker this way. Double checking the lines. And you should have your cube. Now, what do you think we're going to rub out? Are we going to rub out all the side of this cube, or are we going to rub out these lines? So we've got to make sure that our cube is not see-through. It's a solid thing. So we're going to get rid of these lines. So grab your eraser and just rub out those lines. They won't go completely if you've drawn them really darkly, but that's okay because we're just going to go back on top of them. Now, I accidentally rubbed out that line, didn't I? That's all good. Just draw it back in again. Drawing it back in again. Like so. So you should see that it looks like a 3D shape now. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, Emily, oh my gosh, so good. Depth, amazing. So depthy. These are looking awesome. Oh, Amelia, I'm liking your circle. Your sphere is very lovely. Ruhi, it's looking good. Alicia, yours is very lovely too. Oh, and Addie, I like the size of yours. Good, you're going to have lots of area to shade. That's very good. Same with Gabriella, nice and big. Good job, guys. Oh, Amelia. Haley's is looking awesome. All right, so I guess we're on to the shading. Now, when you're thinking about lights and darks, when you're walking down the street, if the sun's behind you, you have a shadow in front of you. So we need to think, where's our sun? Our sun is over here to the side. I'm going to draw a sun so that you can see. You don't have to do this. This is just so you can think about where the sun is. So let's pretend my sun, oh, my pencil broke. Ignore that. We're going to have a gold sun because my yellow died. So I'm going to put a sun here. Don't put this on your artwork. This is just so you and me can tell. I can keep explaining to you. You can't see my sun. I'll make it dark. So this is where my sun is going to be. So we need to think that the light is coming from this angle. So anything here will be light. This corner bit will be light, and that will be light. All the dark is going to be underneath, to the side, and in here. So you need to grab your pencil. Just like we did before, we need to draw with the tip of our pencil, but we shade with the side of our pencil. So we are going to go and start with the sphere. When you're shading a sphere, because it's circle, we want to keep shading with the circle. So if you're shading up and down and making it lines, it'll go very flat. We want to keep the shape. So if you have a look at this one, the circle, the shading is in a circular motion. So start by going where the cylinder touches your circle and you're shaping around here, going in a circle, like an overly circle motion, like a backward C almost. Nice and lightly shading to start off with, and we're going to go in with darker colors. So starting with some light shading all the way around. As I get to the top, I curl it in a bit more because the shading shows that it has a light area. So nice and lightly, just starting off. While you're doing that, I'm going to sharpen my pencil again. So we're shading, but we're following the shape. Instead of drawing a circle and drawing flat over it, we're following with the shape. Making sure we're doing nice, big backward C's. Starting from the top, going to the bottom, and back up again. Nice, big backward C's. So we don't touch the light area at the moment because we want to keep that nice and bright. But over this side, because there's no light, we need to make that darker. To make things darker with pencil, we just go over it again. So I want you to go over it again with the side of your pencil, not the tip. We shade with the side of our pencil. So we're shading with the side of our pencil, going back over it again. Nice and slowly. Shading isn't quick. It takes a while, especially to make it look really good. We're going to shade very slowly. So adding little bit by little bit. Now, as you get closer to the center, I want you to take your pressure off your pencil just a little bit lighter. So make it light. So we go really hard when we're back here at the darker spot of the circle. But as we get around, we lift our pressure off of our pencil and we make it light. So we're not pushing as hard. We push really hard, push a little bit hard, not hard at all. Yes, that's looking so good. Isaac, you've done this before. You're good at this. Isaac's going to go to art class. She's going to say it's amazing, or he's sorry. Same with Emily. Look at Emily's. Oh, and Amelia, I'm liking those colors and the shading. They're going very good. So we're starting with the dark in the center, coming all the way around, nice and lightly. So the best thing with really dramatic shading is that the shadows need to be really, really dark. So our next step is, now this is, because we're doing so dark, we're going to do the tip of our pencil. You're going to follow around the darkest spot of your circle. and we're going to color that in. Still color it in, going with the shape, but make it nice and dark. Just on the edge there, going with your shape. Just on the edge, following it along. As you can see, I turn my book around because I need to move with it. That's okay. You don't have to leave your page upright. You can turn it so you can draw with it. So this takes a lot of coloring back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Back and forward. So we should make sure that there are no white spaces from the edge of your circle to about a quarter of the way. No white spaces. Nice and dark. Making sure our color is very strong. Back and forward, back and forward. Should end up with a shape that kind of looks like that. Back and forward. Lots of sharpening I have to do. I'm going to run out of a pencil. That's okay. Back and forth, back and forth. Awesome. They're looking so good. Okay. So we should end up with something kind of looking like that. I think we should move on to the cylinder. What do you think? Or should we give it a little bit longer? Hold it up if you have done your circle, your sphere shading. All right, awesome. Very good. These are looking awesome. All right, cool. We are going to move on to our cylinder. Now with the cylinder, much like the sphere, it is rounded. So if you looked at a can of Coke, actually, oh, my bottle's not. If you look at this glue stick, it's not flat, is it? It's kind of got a curve to it because it's a circle. So we're going to draw the shadows in a curve shape. So starting from this edge, because this edge will be the darkest, the one that's above the square, we're going to curve in with the cylinder. We're only going to about halfway. Do not go any further than halfway. So you're curving in with the cylinder. Similar to drawing this line here, we're curving in, curving in. Starting with your light shading, and then we'll go in with darker shading. You need to come down to the bottom, so it'll be really dark here because it's got another shape next to it, which will be causing a shadow. So we just do little curves across, just across. Keep curving, adding that shape in.